RSV is on the agenda. So should Americans expect you to take away hepatitis vaccine?
Usually takes like 5 minutes.
As well, even though you promised not to?
As I said, I'm not taking vaccines away from anybody.
Okay, same answer. Like you're just going to deny that when people can't get access, that you're not taking it away. Well, let me ask you, is that the same game you're going to play?
You want me to recommend every product in the world so that is without any clinical trial data?
Well, on your promises.
Yeah, my promise was to give.
A month ago, we could get COVID vaccines by just walking.
You can still.
Hi, Yvonne.
Taking that away.
I was just waiting till a few people showed up, and I'm really into this interview with RFK Jr. being grilled. Hi, whoever else is there. I'm just waiting a couple of minutes until everyone shows up.
So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
Hi, Hess. Okay, looks like people are starting to show up, so I will turn this off. There you go, baby. You can watch whatever. Hello, how is your day? What are you up to? Hi, Chanel. I was looking at your YouTube, Chanel. You have so many cute dogs. They are so awesome. So I figured today, while I'm doing the live, I will make peanut noodles. So I already made the noodles. I'm gonna make the sauce while you guys are online, but everybody let me know if there's anything you want to talk about, what's going on with you, how's life. Things have been good for me. I've been struggling a little bit. Hi, Eric. I have been really obsessed with how I look lately. And as you guys know, I got a facelift and I'm not exactly happy with the results. It takes like 6 months for everything to look natural, but I have been completely obsessing on it, and it's really unhealthy. So today I decided that I'm going to try to get back to being grateful and being happy with what I do have, which is my health. And I didn't get any nerve damage or go blind in my surgery. So I didn't die under anesthesia. I'm still alive. So I'm grateful for that, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Thank you, Brick City Richie. Hi, Jenna. Hi, not necessary. I appreciate you sharing your faith with people here. I do not hold religious beliefs or believe in deities. And I believe in love and compassion and loving everyone and living a cruelty-free lifestyle as it relates to animals. And that's me. So you're welcome to wish me well and say Jesus loves me, but you might, to me, it's like saying the tooth fairy loves you. So, but I respect your religious beliefs. Eric, do not fall in that drought. I know, right? I shouldn't, because then I offend people, which I don't want to do. But you know, I do respect. I used to be very Christian, and I'm not anymore. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Berladis. I hope I said that right. Berladis. Every comment I feel like. Okay, so we have more crap. Eric, you're modding, right? Oh shoot, did I add your? Oh, you're on your other YouTube channel, so you can mod and take out people that are. We're not talking about politics. We're talking about bipolar disorder and what it's like living with bipolar disorder, and we're talking about what's going on with each other in the chat today. So, change my notes. Started on Latuda. You ever been on it? Been a few days. Okay, so Chanel's asking, talking about Latuda and how she has side effects from it. That was off, babe. And I know I didn't want to turn it on while I was cooking, because then it would have just blown around hot air. I was prescribed Latuda and I didn't give it a chance. I only took it for a few days. So if you are, oh God, we're getting like real message, channel activity, hide user on this channel. I just want to say link needs to shut up. So my doctor did prescribe me Latuda for depression, and I did not give it a chance. So I couldn't tell you if I had any side effects on it or not. But I hope if you're dealing with side effects, try something else. There's Latuda is an antidepressant, isn't it? It's not an antipsychotic, so you can try a different one, right? What about risperidone? A lot of people are on risperidone for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. I was diagnosed risperidone in my very first psychotic episode when I was 16, along with some other medications, and one of the other medications gave me a severe side effect of a rash. So I was taken off of all of my medications. So I don't know if risperidone would have worked for me, but I know it works for a lot of people. Hi, Benjamin. What is your work in your country? So yeah, so if you guys want to talk about medication, we can talk about that all day long. But the point with medication is that almost all medication has side effects. Are you going to wave, babe? You're in the background. All medication has side effects. Not all medication, I shouldn't say that. Most medication has side effects, and you just have to find the one that has the least side effects for you. I talked in the last live about a really good anxiety medication that I'm on. That is also good for sleep. Yeah, Chanel, you need to give it more than 2 days. You sound like me. That's the kind of thing I would do. But yeah, no, definitely need to give it more than 2 days. But unless you're like starting to like have, Atarax. I was talking about Atarax before. The Atarax is the brand name for hydroxyzine, and hydroxyzine has been a game changer for me. I thought it wasn't impossible for a medication to take away that nervous pit feeling in your stomach, but it does it somehow, magically. It does it. So, oh God, Eric, what is up from these people? Okay, so I'm having to delete some of the comments because sometimes in the beginning there's a lot of pervs. Santa Monica. Hello from Santa Monica. We're talking about bipolar disorder, nothing else. Hi, Camilo. So some of your guys' names I'm not recognizing in the chat, so I'm hoping that you guys are here for reasons that are good and to talk about mental health issues, which is what we were talking about. I'm gonna actually make some of the peanut noodles that I was making. Hi, TR. No, I'm not from Egypt, and I don't know how that's relevant, but I'm not from Egypt. And I've never even been to Egypt. So I'm going to make some peanut noodle sauce while we're doing this, so I have something to do and you guys can talk amongst yourself. It's really good to see Eric and Chanel in the chat, and TR. I feel like I've talked to you before. Quitting smoking for 2 days is awesome. It took me years. I smoked cigarettes for, are you talking about cigarettes or marijuana? I smoked cigarettes for almost 30 years and I finally quit, and it took me several times to quit, but I finally quit and I felt so much better afterwards, and I'm so happy that I quit. But cannabis I used for a very long time, even though I have bipolar disorder, and it is not good for somebody who has bipolar disorder, in my opinion, in a lot of other people's opinions, but it's a very individual thing. Some people it helps because we often have dual diagnoses with things like PTSD, and PTSD is extremely hard to control. So it's something that I quit using cannabis, and it took me a long time to get through the withdrawals of quitting. So that said, I will never, ever, ever use marijuana again, because I spent 2 weeks not sleeping, and then more weeks than that with sleeping less, and it was extremely difficult on me trying to function. And I'm much happier. I'm not as muted. Like it numbs a lot of your feelings, and I feel a lot better now that I'm not taking it. So it is legal in California, so, but that's part of the problem, is that in California it's legal, and so I was vaping, which is a million times stronger than the weed you used to buy from your friends and neighbors as a kid. So it's a lot more dangerous today than it ever has been. But like I said, it's an individual thing. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. You don't have to quit if you don't want to. It's like I said, it's an individual thing. It wasn't good for me, so I can't speak for other people. Yes, I'm bipolar. I have bipolar disorder type 1. So I already made some noodles. I'm gonna make some peanut sauce, and I'll show you guys how to do that while we're doing this. Smoking weed put me into an episode. Yeah, so that's one of the problems with using cannabis when you have bipolar disorder, is it can send you into mania or psychosis. And I definitely think that it may have played a part in my first psychotic episode, although I'm not too sure, because I had so much going on at that age that I'm never quitting. I used to say that, I'm never quitting. I used to say that, but I changed my mind. So never say never. But yeah, it has been known to send people into psychosis, and it affects a growing brain. Like, your brain is developing until your 20s when you're a kid. So putting things into your brain that affect your brain is probably not the best idea. I'm chopping up a jalapeno. Please be careful with hydroxyzine. From new studies link regular use with Alzheimer's. I have not heard of that with hydroxyzine. I can look into it, but the odds are I'm going to die far before I ever am able to get Alzheimer's, because people with bipolar disorder die on average 10 to 15 years sooner than people who do not have bipolar disorder. So I'm not really worried about dementia stage or anything like that, because chances are I won't even live that long. So we will see. But I will definitely do the research. That's good to know, because I highly recommend it for people. And I don't normally recommend medication, because it's something different for everybody. And I don't think I should be recommending medication at all, certain types of medication. My advice is to take medication if you have a mental illness, a severe mental illness like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, because it will save your life. And those psychotic illnesses are life-threatening if left untreated. What medications you take for no weight gain? Like I said, it really depends on the medication in terms of weight gain. I can tell you that I took Zyprexa and it made me ravenous. It's called olanzapine. It made me ravenous. Like, I was so hungry all the time. Like, I could not get enough food, and I put on a significant amount of weight in a week. But there are people that have lost weight on that medication, so you just have to find a medication that works for you. It's extremely difficult. What's killing us? Oh, Yvonne, did I say hi to you already? How are you? You know who I miss is somebody that used to be in the chat. I can't remember their name, but they used to come to the lives and they were saying how they were going to be deported. So I wonder if they got deported. Yeah, it's all individual. Yeah. But I started taking Lamictal, and then I started on 150 milligrams, and I was fine on 150 milligrams, and then I had a severe traumatic event in my life, and my doctor upped it to 200 milligrams, and then I was fine for a few years on 200 milligrams. Then I had a severe traumatic life event, a huge blow up with my family, and so I was in a severe depression for a while, and my doctor upped it to 300 milligrams. So then I'm taking 300 milligrams of Lamictal, a mood stabilizer, which for me doesn't have any side effects other than light sensitivity. So I was on it 300 milligrams for a couple of years. Then my dog died in a horribly violent way right in front of my face, and I went into psychosis and I put myself in the hospital. And my doctor, I think she upped my, stop, kitty, stop it. They ripped the couch up with their nails. So she upped it to 400 milligrams and added Geodon, which Geodon is an antipsychotic, and I hadn't been on an antipsychotic for years. I was fine on a mood stabilizer for many years, 6 years. And looking back, I did have blow-ups. I did have severe anger that I couldn't control. And I don't know how much of this was PTSD, because those of us with bipolar disorder will have these psychotic episodes and will experience such trauma in our life with say police or family members, or putting ourselves in dangerous situations, that we end up that we end up having flashbacks and horrible nightmares, and they haunt us for years. I had extreme PTSD for a very long time. I was having night sweats every single night, waking up 3 times in the middle of the night, having to change my clothes because I was having horrible nightmares. And things got better. It's been several years since I've had to take anything for PTSD, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't not have bad dreams anymore. I still have nightmares. I still have flashbacks all the time, but I'm able to deal with them a lot better, and they don't sting as much. Like, you get to a point where you start remembering things, you start having these flashbacks so many times that when you kind of get desensitized to it. It doesn't stop being painful, but you get to a point where you can kind of look and see in your head what's happening and be like, okay, this is a flashback, you're okay. But now I'm on Geodon, and my doctor recently upped my Geodon when I quit smoking cannabis because I wasn't sleeping. And then I started hearing about some side effects from Geodon, and then I got paranoid. So I'm still taking Geodon, but I'm going to get my blood work done in September to make sure that everything with my glucose levels and everything are normal, because some of the antipsychotics can cause diabetes, and my mom had diabetes, so that's a risk factor for me. So I'm new here. Hi, Kathy. Some bipolar, there's early onset Alzheimer's, 30 something. Please check the studies out. I will check them out. With bipolar disorder and the symptoms that I have, I don't spend a lot of time researching the medications that I take. I don't read the inserts. I don't go to the internet and Google a certain type of medication, because no matter what, I'm going to find negative things on that medication. No matter what, there's going to be one study somewhere, or a Reddit thread with people complaining, no matter what. And I'm in a place where I don't have a choice whether or not to take medication. And I think that living with bipolar 2, I wouldn't have the choice either, because the depression is life-threatening. And so for me personally, and I know that other people may want to research, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying for me personally, I just have to try the medication and see how it affects my body. And I don't really worry about the long-term effects of medications, unless, like, if my blood work comes up bad when I get my blood work done in a couple of weeks, then I will look at my medications and see, okay, is this Geodon potentially doing something to me, because this is the only new medication, because I had my blood work done recently and the glucose was high. I was eating like utter crap for 2 weeks prior to getting my blood work done, so that's probably why. But I'm still going to get it redone and look at it. if you take something like lithium, you have to get your blood work done on a consistent basis to make sure that your kidneys are okay. But I strongly recommend anybody taking an antipsychotic or antidepressant to keep an eye on your blood work. Make sure you get annual blood work drawn. You can pay to get your own blood work if your doctor's not going to order it for you and you want to do it every 3 or 4 times a year. You can pay for it out of pocket. It's expensive. I think it cost me like $300 recently, but you can do it. But yeah, so I take what I take, and I can't really. The only thing that I do worry about is if a medication says it's at a risk factor for Stevens-Johnson syndrome or severe rash, because I had Stevens-Johnson syndrome when I was very young as a result of, I believe, Tegretol, and just the fact that I'm allergic to sulfa medications. So that is something that I watch out for. But change my meds because I've been having nightmares every night sweats, very bad anxiety, and constant bouts of crying. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chanel. I wish there was something I could do. I'm thinking about, I said in the post when I announced the live that I'm thinking about starting a Facebook group for the channel. So I will do that. I think that will be cool, you know, so people can talk to each other and, you know, post encouraging things for one another and, you know, vent if we have to. I think that there are places like that, like on Reddit, but Reddit can sometimes be like a scary place. I found it very toxic in the beginning, and so I want to be able to have the Facebook group and be able to moderate things that might be inappropriate, or be able to say, you know, like, here's some research on this, you know. I don't want to like censor anybody, but I want to be able to provide you guys with something that's helpful that you can use in life. I'm chopping up good for you, Yvonne. Don't do it then if you don't want to. Social media is a time suck, and it's hard on your self-esteem. It's hard on your self-esteem. It's hard on your brain. It's causes ADHD. I haven't made a video about it, but I was recently diagnosed with ADHD. Chanel, I really hope that the Latuda helps. If you're not feeling better in a week, go back to the doctor and just tell her it's not really working. Or him, tell her or him, and give your doggies lots of love and cuddles, and know that they need you there for them. So I'm sure they're great great motivation to keep going. But yeah, so I'm chopping up a jalapeno right now. I'm going to make some peanut sauce for my noodles. I just did spaghetti noodles, but you can do soba noodles. So I chopped them. Somebody said they made my walnut taco recipe that I did in the last live, so that made me excited, and I really wanted to do another recipe. So I just chopped up a whole jalapeno, and I don't have the ingredients for the recipe that I wanted to make, so I am, hi Connie, I'm good making food. So I wanted to make something else that, you know, you guys can potentially try if you want. But yeah, I don't have all the ingredients, so I'm making this up as I go along. Usually I don't add jalapeno. I'm gonna add some carrots and kale to my sauce and my noodles this time, which I haven't done before. But I think traditionally you would add like cabbage, purple cabbage, and white cabbage and green onions, but I don't have any of that, so I'm using kale and carrot, kale and carrot shreds. But let's make the peanut sauce first. And you guys should only buy peanut butter that has peanuts and salt in it, like this. See the ingredients? Ingredients: organic, dry roasted peanuts and salt. The other stuff is like pure sugar and chemicals, like Jiffy, Skippy, all that crap. You guys should try to find peanut butter that only has peanuts and salt in it, because it is so much better. It tastes so much better. It tastes like peanut butter, not peanut butter frosting. The other stuff tastes like peanut butter frosting. Once you get used to this stuff, if you try the other stuff, you'll get used to sometimes putting different stuff in top so you're doing fine. So I feel kind of bad, like hiding this person that I just hid, but they asked a question about my sexual orientation, which is none of their business and not what we're talking about on this live. So I hid them from the channel. I just had oatmeal. Yeah, I love oatmeal. I love oatmeal with raisins. And what I do is when I make oatmeal, I make the oatmeal, boil it, and then I mash a banana inside of it and mix it in while I'm cooking the oatmeal. And then I use that instead of like sugar, and it's so good. And then I add like raisins and sometimes walnuts and fruit. So I think I'm gonna do like 3/4 cup peanut butter because I want it really peanutty. That's like 3/4 cup. So there goes my peanut butter. Banana. Yeah, banana's good. Banana and raisins. I love banana. The other day I made broccoli madness. Have you guys ever made that? There's this restaurant called Soup Plantation, and they have this broccoli recipe where it's they put broccoli, and it's like kind of like a mayonnaise based sauce, and they put bacon in it, but I'm vegan, so I don't do bacon. Instead I do cashews and raisins, and it's so good. And I made that the other day because it's been so hot that I can't actually cook anything. I'm a senior citizen, sometimes feel so isolated talking with others who have bipolar. Yeah, I mean, we all feel isolated, I think, when we live with a mental illness. And then one of the frustrating things for me is that I've been dealing with personally that really sucks and breaks my heart is that I have you guys, right? You guys are my friends, but like at one point I'm like, you know, all my normal friends, my friends that don't have mental illness are often too busy for me or busy with their family and their kids. And so I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll just make friends that have mental illness like me. And so I do have one good friend that struggles with depression, and she's still around. I need to keep in contact with her more though. And then I had my friend Athena. My friend Athena I met in the psychiatric hospital. There is lives on my channel that I have done with her. And she's not well right now. And this is my life. She knows I talk about my life online. She disagrees with me as to her not being well right now, but she is in transitional housing because she got 5150'd and thrown into a psychiatric hospital once again. But prior to her going to the hospital, I noticed that something was going on with her. And so I called the psychiatric evaluation team and sent them to her house. She found out. She called me and asked me if I did it, and I told her, yeah, I did, because I'm not going to lie to her. And she got really pissed off and hung up on me, told me, said some really mean things to me, like I'm a horrible person and this and that, and hung up on me. And so I didn't talk to her for a while. And then one of you guys said, just call her. And so I did. I called her like a couple weeks later, and I was talking to her. And she was completely on a different planet, but I still wanted to be there for her and talk to her. And then recently, she's in the transitional housing, so I was text messaging with her, and I, of all people, know that you can't accuse somebody of being mentally ill when they're in the middle of a psychotic episode, because it will only piss them off and make them feel worse. You can't convince somebody who's hallucinating that they're hallucinating. They're hallucinating. You can't convince somebody who is experiencing anosognosia, which is the the unawareness of sickness that comes along with bipolar and schizophrenia. You can't convince them that they are sick and need help, because in their mind, they're not, and they're experiencing a symptom called the unawareness of sickness. And so that's where she's at right now. And stupidly, I tried to talk sense into her, which is stupid. Like, and I of all people should know that you can't do that. Like, you can't talk sense into somebody. And I should have just talked to her and been there for her, and like, you know, called and checked in with her and said hi and stuff like that. But I'm just so bad at it, and it's so triggering. And it was so upsetting, because here I finally found a friend that I could really relate to, and she's doing great. She's on her medication. She's out of the hospital. And then one day she tells me, I don't think I really need medication. I'm not sure I'm bipolar anymore. So she goes off her meds, and she starts getting sick and gets hospitalized. And now she's in the transitional housing. And it's sad, because if she doesn't recognize that she has a mental illness, she's going to end up living her days out in a group home. Like, if she doesn't realize that, hey, I have to take medication, or because what she did is she started having, she gets delusions, persecutory delusions, where everyone's out to get her. And she surrounds herself, like like most of us do when we're in psychosis, with people who have ill intentions towards us, and we get taken advantage of. And so that's what was happening with her. And somehow she won like a couple $100,000 gambling, according to her, which I thought was likely a delusion. But then she sent me pictures of her bank statement that said hundreds of thousands of dollars were in there. But then she said her ex stole all the money from her. But she also said after she won a couple $100,000 that she leased a car. So that didn't make any sense. If you win hundreds of thousands of dollars, why would you lease a car? You would buy it outright. So I don't know what she sent me. I don't know if that was actual bank statement stuff or what, but I know she's not well right now, and that's all that matters, and it's super upsetting. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Chanel. Man, there's a lot of people with people being lame in the chat today. We're having to delete a lot of messages. Sometimes people have a hard time. I deal with PTSD and DLD. I don't know what DLD is. Dissociative disorder, major depression. It's hard when your friends don't understand. It's crazy hard when your friends don't understand, and it feels like nobody understands. But I understand. People on the channel understand. We understand. So people do understand. It's hard though. I feel like most of the time though I'm doing okay. You know, I'm used to being I was telling somebody about this the other day. I'm used to being strong. Like my whole life, I'm used to having to be strong, not having a choice, and keep going. And while I have experienced some major depressive episodes where I wanted to end myself, I have had attempts. While I have experienced that, I've overcome those things, and I'm still here, and I'm happy about that. So there are days where I blow up and too many things are going on, but usually it's because there are other things influencing my life that are causing their triggers. So I had to realize recently that I was triggered by somebody that I was trying to help. I was trying to help an unhoused person get off the street who had schizophrenia. I managed to help him like in 2020, and so I was trying to help him again, but there's nothing I can do for him. Like, he uses meth and he has schizophrenia, and I helped him get his medication a few times, but his medication isn't working because he's still using meth. And I could potentially take him to UCLA, which is one of the only hospitals that will actually admit someone who's in the middle of an episode, but there's no guarantee that as soon as he gets out, he's going to go use meth again. So I can't continue to hurt myself.
39.
He's looking for 239.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What was I saying? Do you know what I was saying?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the guy I was trying to help was really triggering me. So I was getting into arguments with my husband, and I wasn't realizing how much he was triggering me.
Well, it's also drug addict.
Yeah, he's a drug addict. His addiction to meth is killing him, and I can't save him. I can't save anyone. I can only, like, work on myself. And so I was, running around trying to help this guy all the time, driving him to the homeless service center, driving him to get a cell phone, driving him to the hospital, to get his medication. And it was taking a lot out of me. It was taking so much out of me, and I didn't realize, but every time I would see him, I would have worry in my head after I'd seen him the entire day. And then I would start getting, like I said, I would have blow-ups on my husband, and it was because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was exposing myself to an extremely traumatic and stressful situation. And while I would love to help this person, I'm not his family, so it's limited on what I can do. If I take him to the hospital, they're not going to keep him. I'm just some random person trying to help him. If his family takes him to the hospital, they're going to be like, okay, we have to help this family. And the family is not in town. The sister, his mom died recently. His sister is in Florida, and his brother's in San Diego. So I had to worry about myself and work on myself, which was really hard. But I learned a lesson in all of it, so I'm happy about that. I also learned how difficult it is for people in the United States to get help for their mental illness issues when they are homeless. The Homeless Services Center doesn't even have a mental health department. Can you believe that? It's crazy. But so a lot of these messages were deleted. Blood and Sigil. What's the difference between bipolar and borderline personality disorder? Hi, Brenda. Doesn't understand. It gets mad at me when I feel down. That's a horrible feeling. I'll talk about the difference between borderline personality disorder and bipolar. But Brenda, that's a horrible feeling, and you're not alone. A lot of us have shame and guilt over feeling sad. Like, we sometimes get so incredibly depressed that we cancel plans with our friends, and then we're not able to keep our friendships because we're constantly canceling plans, and we feel depressed and we can't get out of bed. And sometimes there can be people in our lives that can make us feel bad for that, but you can't let that bother you. You can't listen to those people. You have to understand that it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset. It sucks, but it does get better. And if you are in that place where you're really sad and you know you have a mental illness, you need to go to the doctor and talk to them about your feelings. And if you can't get a doctor's appointment soon enough, then go to the emergency room and talk to somebody there, or the urgent care. What is that? It's something that it's life or death for us, period. But yeah, the difference between borderline personality disorder and bipolar is borderline personality disorder is a personality disorder. So borderline personality disorder is extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. There is no medication that treats it, and people will often be prescribed medication to deal with the feelings that you get from the symptoms that you have, but there is no medication to treat the thoughts that borderline personality disorder creates. And people with borderline personality disorder, the number one thing that they experience is an extreme sense of abandonment and a lack of feeling comfortable in their own skin. And it causes problems in their personal relationships, in their job, everything. And it's really, really hard. I can't go into it all. I did make a video on my YouTube channel one time called Let's Talk About Borderline Personality Disorder. It's a very long video, and I actually get emotional in it because learning about borderline personality disorder was extremely sad, because I know somebody who was going through it. But bipolar disorder, for the most part, is manageable, and it's a mood disorder. when we are on medication, we can live fairly normal lives. It helps our symptoms. Our mood symptoms are helped by medication. Our thoughts of ending ourselves are helped by medication. There are things that if we're on medication, if we're in therapy, if we are taking care of ourselves, we can get better. We can live happy, healthy lives. With borderline personality disorder, people, the main treatment for it is called dialect behavioral therapy. And so it's more of a talk therapy treatment plan, which is hard to keep people doing because nobody wants to go to therapy. I don't want to go to therapy. I'm sick of going to therapy. I spent 4 years in therapy. I need to go back to therapy and get a counselor. But my YouTube channel has been really, really helpful for me in healing from a lot of the trauma that I've experienced. I have videos on my channel where I talk about my psychotic episodes that I experienced, and filming those videos was so healing for me because I was able to talk about my life and what happened as it relates to it being symptoms. And it's helpful for me to know that other people are getting help and that I can be useful and help other people. So that's the difference between borderline personality disorder. Do you think someone can become bipolar from being not himself in life, not being genuine yourself? No. Bipolar disorder is typically the result of trauma or hereditary, and they don't know which one. It can be either, actually. They say it can be either trauma or hereditary. I've had an extensive amount of trauma in my life, but I also have people in my family who have mental illness. So nobody knows why I have it, but I have it, and you can't get it from not being yourself. It can make you, bipolar can make you feel like you don't want to be yourself. It can make you feel like you want to hide from the rest of the world, like you don't want to share how you're really feeling or what's going on with you because you're afraid of feeling like a burden or like people are going to look at you funny. So therapy doesn't help me. Brenda, do you have bipolar or borderline personality disorder? What do you do if therapy is not helping at all? My girlfriend is bipolar and has BPD. How can I be supportive to her? Hi, Hakeem. The best thing you can do for somebody who has borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder is to learn everything you can about that illness. Everything. And to make sure that you have an open line of communication with that person and that they feel comfortable going to you. You're going through a lot. I can be here for you. I can offer you an ear for someone to listen to. My whole entire neighborhood can probably hear me talking because I'm gonna close this. My husband's gonna be mad because it's so hot outside that I just closed the window, but he can't hear because he has headphones on watching TV. But what was I saying? Oh, if therapy isn't helping, get a new therapist. It doesn't seem like it's helping in the beginning, but in the long run, it does help. You can try group therapy. I went to an outpatient program where I went to therapy with other people, and just being around other people that were experiencing the same symptoms as me made me feel better. Just being around other people. It made me feel like less of a freak. It made me feel safe being around other people that had that same issue. But also, if therapy isn't helping you, also look online for story. This is a great place to start. On Instagram, on YouTube, there are all kinds of people talking about bipolar disorder, and they tell you how they're getting through it. There are books you can read. There's all kinds of things that you can do besides therapy that can help. Like, I know my husband, like he's like a reader, so anytime he has an issue in his life, he immediately goes to find a book. So maybe reading a book about bipolar disorder and what it causes, or reading a book about borderline personality disorder and what it causes can make you, help you feel better. Hearing other people talk about it can help you feel better. I find you on YouTube, you might find that your stress goes a bit and it helps you through the day. I find you talking on YouTube. So glad to hear other people are suffering. Connie, I think you said I think you said my YouTube channel helps. I'm not sure. It's hard to read the way you wrote it, but I hope it does. Okay, you guys. So I'm grating ginger. So I put 3/4 cup of peanut butter in a pan, and I'm grating ginger because I'm going to put ginger in there too. So I have ginger, jalapeno, and I'm going to put garlic in this. Ginger is absolutely key for this recipe. But yeah, do you guys have any questions? Is there anything else you guys want to ask me? Or talk about? Let's see. Hi, Moss. I had 4/4 intake at mental hospital. I'm loyal to my medication, then it works out. Yeah, we are often hospitalized against our will. We often have to be hospitalized against our will. I was hospitalized against my will probably around 15 or 16 times. And each time they let me out when I was not ready to be let out. The only hospital that ever kept me for a significant amount of time was UCLA, and they have something called patient rights. So if you're smart enough and you can figure it out, which the will to survive can cause you to do, I learned how to call patient rights, and they sent somebody in to have an interview and interview me, and then I had to go to court. And so after 3 weeks, I got out of the hospital. I wasn't ready to be released. I shouldn't have been released, but they had to release me. I went home and I was not on medication, and because I had been kept in the hospital so long, sometimes an episode just runs its course. Like, you can experience psychosis and you can come out of it on your own sometimes. It's not something you want to rely on. But sometimes an episode of psychosis ends on its own. It runs its course and then it ends. Alita Kessler is asking, how do I deal with hypersexuality? Hypersexuality is not something that I experience unless I'm in severe psychosis. So in that case, I don't deal with it. But for those that don't know, hypersexuality is an obsession. It's not nymphomania because it's only present with bipolar psychotic symptoms. Perhaps hypomania and mania as well. That hasn't been my experience, but I think it can be the case. So and it's not fun. It's not a fun thing. It's an overwhelming need to look at sexual explicit material or like pornography or be promiscuous, and it's a symptom. And it's very, very difficult for people who are in marriages, who perhaps the person with bipolar is not being treated and they are unfaithful, which happens a lot. And it's part of the reason why we have such high divorce rates. But it goes away. So it goes away when the bipolar symptoms do. And so the best way that I deal with that is that I don't have it. I take my medication and I don't experience psychosis. And that helps me avoid those horrible symptoms. Okay, you guys, so I put in a 3/4 cup of peanut butter, and then I put in a 1/4 cup of liquid aminos. You can use soy sauce too, but I use liquid aminos. So I'm gonna put that in the pan, and I'm gonna put the jalapenos and some garlic and the ginger that I put up. I chopped up 1 whole jalapeno. So I'm gonna put the ginger in, and then I'm gonna put in some garlic and some sesame oil. Some garlic and sesame oil. Garlic, where is garlic? Garlic. Didn't we have some minced garlic in here? I thought I had some. Yes. Okay. Garlic, jalapeno, ginger. So far, the peanut butter and the liquid aminos. I can't open this. Oh, I got it.
Peanut noodles ready?
No, they're not ready.
Boo.
Do you experience manic episode? Hi, Hermit Crafter. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. Yeah. So, do I experience manic episodes? I do experience manic episodes. And I also experience psychosis. So I experience psychotic symptoms, and I have had 4 major episodes with psychotic symptoms in my life, lasting a very long time. I have a channel on I have a video on my YouTube channel all about it. There's a video that's all about my 1st, 2nd, and 3rd psychotic episode, and there's a video that's all about my 4th episode. And they lasted, the final last one before I got diagnosed and medicated lasted an entire year. And what it's like for me is I start to get very amped up. I stop sleeping. I start getting very elated, and I'm doing a million different things. It's hypomania. It's the stage right before mania. So I experience hypomania. I'm elated. I'm happy. I'm doing tons of things. I'm getting all these different projects done. I'm starting things. I'm reorganizing, cleaning, and rearranging all kinds of items, and just making huge plans. And then and that progresses, and I stop sleeping, and then that progresses into mania. And in mania, my symptoms become even stronger, and I start having delusions of grandeur, and I go into psychosis, where I see things, hear things, believe things that are not real. I have hallucinated smells before. I have hallucinated people. I have hallucinated a giant toad one time, which was interesting. I have heard voices, but mostly I have had firm, fixed beliefs that are not based in reality. I believed that I worked for the CIA. I believed that I was a cleaner for the CIA, and that I would go and expose people who were using drugs, and then the police would come once I leave, or the government would come and arrest them once I leave. I believed that my parents were still married, and that it was just a secret. I saw many, many different people who I thought were celebrities, and I hung out with these people, and I believed that they were celebrities. For example, I hung out with this one guy who had a posture very similar to Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was convinced that he was Johnny Depp, and he wasn't. And I just thought he was Johnny Depp undercover, because, you know, celebrities have such a wild life, and everybody wants to be them. They have to be undercover. So that's what it's like for me. Thank you, Chanel. Hi, Daytone. Robin, drugs in your past. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about, okay, so wait, so I put the sesame oil, that's what I need. It has to be toasted sesame oil. And I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons. And then I think this is like a tablespoon. I don't like to add a lot of oil to stuff, just because maybe I'll do a little more. That was like 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. So I'm gonna heat that up and stir it all together, and that is my peanut noodle sauce. And then I'm gonna put it on those noodles, and we can eat it cold because it's really hot right now. I don't want to be using my stove a whole bunch, but I have to simmer this for a while because otherwise the jalapenos are gonna be crazy hot. So then I'm gonna put, actually I'm gonna put some sesame oil on the noodles too. So that they're just a little bit slimy before. I'm a streamer that also uses his platform to inform and educate about bipolar. Your videos have served as a source of inspiration and helped me to guide. I think Daytona, I think I went to your channel. Are you a gamer too? I think I subscribed to your channel. I haven't seen any of your videos where you talk about bipolar disorder, but that's awesome that you use your platform to talk about bipolar disorder. We need as many people like that as we can get. Hello, ma'am. My name's Deputy King. Hi, Gunner. So we've been talking about bipolar disorder if you're just new here. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I went to your channel, Daytone. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys that are subscribed. I have to leave in a couple minutes. I have to leave in like 2 minutes because I'm going to get my hair done. But I want to thank you guys for joining the stream. If you have any questions, I'm going to put my peanut noodle recipe in the description once this video finally posts. And let me know if you guys try it. Somebody tried my raw walnut tacos. Bye, Yvonne. Somebody tried my raw walnut tacos recipe, and I was so excited, and they said they really liked it, that it was really good, and it is really good. So if you guys haven't seen that live, you guys should watch it. And yeah, I know, I can't wait to get my hair done. But if you haven't seen that live stream, you should watch it and try my walnut tacos because they are bomb. Like, so good. And you can put them on a taco if you want, but I put them on lettuce cups with guacamole and salsa sometimes. So it's been so fun talking to you guys. I need to put water in here. You want to put a little water in that too. I love you too, Chanel. I'm so happy you are subscribed to the channel, and I'm always so happy when I get to talk to you and check in with you. I will definitely check out your Instagram. I don't know what it is, so you're gonna have to leave it in a comment on one of my videos or on this live once I post it. I will definitely see that, and I will definitely, maybe I did go to your Instagram. I went to your YouTube channel, so I don't know about your Instagram. But see, it's getting thicker, you guys. I just add I add water until it gets the consistency that I like. And then I'm gonna put these carrot shreds in there and some kale, because that's all I have. And we'll have peanut noodles. So thank you, Eric, for modding. Thank you, Chanel, for modding. Thank you guys, everybody, thank you, Hermit Crafter. It was so good to see you again. I really appreciate you guys joining the live, like I said, and I will see you soon. Bye.